Hello, and I've got my echo on, excuse me. Hello, and welcome to our software demonstration this evening for the Accounting and Bookkeeper Support Group. And this evening we have Gavin from Apron Software, who's going to show us how you can make your bookkeeping so much more efficient and paperless and all sorts of lovely things. You can tell I use the software. So I'm going to hand over to Gavin, who will talk you through what you need to know.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. Della, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. Like Della said, I work for Apron. The role that I play at Apron, I work in the go-to-market channel. So very much focused on the partnership channel. When I talk about partnerships, I mean accountants and bookkeepers. I've been with Apron for about 12 months now. Before Apron, I worked for a company called Fluidly, which was the cash flow forecasting scenario building app that was acquired by Oak North Bank. So I did about 4.5 years with Fluidly Oak North. And then prior to Fluidly and Oak North, I worked for a company called Dext. So I was the VP for EMEA. So I was responsible for the UK, France, and South Africa. And like Della said in the introduction, I'm here to just show you the Apron Capture product. Got around about 15 minutes. So this is not a sales pitch by any stretch. This is just more about an education session, just so everybody on the call today can understand what Apron have been doing over the last 12 months since they released their Apron Capture product. And ultimately, if you are interested in understanding a little bit more about the product itself in terms of the full working form of it, I will leave my details in the chat function for you to reach out individually. But without further ado, if you want to use the chat function to ask any questions, or Della's going to be posing the questions, please feel free. But let's share my screen, and then using there you are, the share screen function. So I don't know if that's been brought into the stage or brought into the section, but if someone could just give me, there you are, I can see it there now. If I'm looking across to the left, it's just where the main screen is. So this is Apron. When you log into Apron, you log into what we call the Practice Hub. And the Practice Hub is a dashboard, which is basically a snapshot of your business and also your client's business. On the left-hand side, you've got your clients, your team members, and your billing, and also the bank statement extraction, which is due to be released in a couple of weeks. It's currently under beta at the present moment in time, but this is where you can upload the bank statements into a PDF and ultimately kind of take that PDF, and we give you the ability to extract all of the information like opening date, closing date, opening balance and closing balance, and also give you that ability to then export the information into a CSV for the likes of Xero, QuickBooks, and Sage. In terms of your clients, you can add clients in the top right-hand corner. So we link directly with Companies House, and we bring all of the information across, like company number, trading address, stakeholders, directors, and the likes. You've got the ability to see assigned clients and all clients. So there's two different types of users within Apron. There's an admin user and there's a standard user. Admin gets to see all of the clients. Standard user would just get to see the clients that are assigned to them. And then you can see the clients listed here in terms of the client name, the bills that are ready to be paid, the documents that are in the inbox, the unreconciled transactions, and the practice members. Okay, so Apron is an all-in-one accounts payable solution. It can work in a number of ways. It can work as capture only, it can work as payments only, or it can also work with capture and payments together, depending on the needs and requirements of the clients. So let's jump into a client. I'm not going to be talking tonight about payments. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to draw your attention to the settings. Not going to spend a lot of time. There's 8 tiles in here, but I'll just focus on the tiles that are applicable for capture. So from a member's perspective, you can add members in the top right-hand corner. You can invite them in via email address, first name, last name, and also a mobile phone number. And the reason why mobile phone number is important is one of the ways you can get docs into the system. 4 ways with Apron: the Apron app, drag and drop, dedicated email addresses for purchase and sales, but we've also built a WhatsApp integration as well, so you can get the WhatsApp integration where the clients can get docs into the system. But the main important thing here is you've got company members and practice members. Company members are people within your client's business using the software. Practice members are people within your business that are using the software. And the main thing that you can do from this screen is you can edit people's roles. So like I was saying earlier, there's an admin role and there's also a standard. And this is where you can be really prescriptive about what individuals do. If they're not needing payment permissions, we can switch them off. They can see all of their own items, or they can just see their own items from a bookkeeping. They can publish to the ledger, or they can't publish to the ledger. You could give them all of the admin permissions or none of the admin permissions. So it just allows you to kind of restrict and also open up the product, so it's not a kind of free for all, if you like. In terms of the billing, you can see all of the billing information, invoice history, billing details, and also the plan that you're on, and it gives you a running total in terms of the documents that are captured, payroll payments that are being made. Direct email addresses, you get dedicated email addresses for both purchase and sales, and you've got the ability to edit them email addresses. The front end can be edited, the back end remains static, and these are the email addresses that clients can use to get docs into the system. We've got the ability from a list perspective. This is where you actually use Apron even if you're not connected to a general ledger. So from that perspective, then clients that aren't big enough to maybe be on QuickBooks and Xero, but still want to get prepared for the year end in terms of PAYE, you can actually upload your own charter standard of accounts, and Apron can also provide you with one. And then you've got the advanced bookkeeping settings where if the client's not VAT registered, you could toggle that across here. And that means we won't extract the tax on the invoices and receipts. And you can also have line item extraction switched on as well. And line item extraction is free of charge within Apron, so it's just a part of our software. So again, you're not going to be charged for that. Purchase defaults, default due date, the days can be changed, and so can the rule. And also the Xero preferences, you can publish it as a bill of spending money, and you can publish it in a draft awaiting approval or awaiting payment. And exactly the same setup for sales defaults. In terms of contacts, I'm going to use 37 Degrees Solution as the example. That's the office environment I am in here in Newcastle. We do have offices in London, but it's 300 miles away, so I'll put it with my little office in the northeast. But this is where I can set up my supplier rules. And from a supplier rule perspective, I can look at it from a category perspective, and what I can do is I can search via either description or the nominal code. The nominal code's the nominal code that's coming out of QuickBooks or Xero. We have the ability to add tracking categories and also regions. The default due date is always 30th of the current month. Currency we paid in is GBP. Tax rate would be no VAT. Description is rent for office, and I want to publish this as a bill. I've got the ability, the market is paid. If I know it's going to get paid by direct debit, I can switch on line item extraction, and I can also auto-publish if I choose to auto-publish. A lot of accounts and bookkeepers kind of sit on the fence with auto-publishing. My stance is, if it's stuff like rent rates, utilities, broadband, mobile phone, something that's coming from a creditable supplier, which is a static amount, ultimately you can auto-publish it through. Let's have a look at the bookkeeping. In terms of the bookkeeping itself, you've got anything that's in your inbox, anything that's published, and anything that's archived. Okay, I can look at it from a supplier perspective. So if I want to hone in on Gavin Fell's expenses, I can also hone in on my expenses. And I always star my expenses to give them a level of importance, because I want the money back in my account. So I can also search via starred and not starred. I've got the ability to customize my columns and my views. So if I don't want to see document type, I can remove it. If I do want to see document type, I can also apply it. And what I can also do is I can kind of shift these around just to make sure that I'm comfortable in terms of how it looks and feels for myself. In terms of the product itself, if you ever have a situation with other pieces of software where you're getting two snaps and it's the front and the back of an invoice, but it comes across as two separate, you can actually highlight them in within Apron, and you can also merge them. So you can see, look, I don't want them to be two separate. I want them to be one of the same. And you've also got the ability to split. So then clients that send you one PDF and it might have 5 or 6 receipts on it, you can also split it out. So you can see, look, I don't want them to be one PDF. I want them to be 4 or 5 separate. You've also got the ability to move this document into sales if someone sent it into purchase. So from that perspective, it's really good in terms of the efficiency gains. You have the ability to bulk publish, bulk edit, bulk archive, bulk export, download files, and also bulk delete if you choose to do so. We upload docs in the top right-hand corner, so you've got the ability to upload docs here. So let me, even on the live demo, let me kind of just upload 4 or 5 docs and just see how we get on. The upload speed is very quick in terms of, from Apron's perspective, that's the upload done. So we are the fastest on the marketplace in terms of upload speed. And it usually takes around about 10-15 seconds for them docs to start coming through. And ultimately, once they do start coming through, what you will see is if there's any duplicates, Apron allow the duplicates to come in, but it'll also give you a warning sign. So the little red warning sign, if you hover above it, it just tells you there's a possible duplication within Apron. If that was the case, what we can do is we can highlight all 4 of them duplicates, and we can actually just delete them permanently off the system just to tidy up the inbox, so we're actually focusing on relevant information. When you click through to it, you can scroll right and left to see all of the docs that are currently in the system for you to review and publish. Actually, this is a really handy one. So this is a one where the invoice has actually been embedded into an email. So we extract all of the information, document type, receipt, credit note. You've got the ability to see the category, the tracking category, and the region, and also the references, issue date and due date. Descriptions, I'm just going to delete that description because Apron are now using AI for description. So we give you 3 different versions: a short description, a medium description, or a long description. So it saves you doing the copy and paste and type it in. So you can choose the description and save that, and it will automatically populate it. Total amount, extracted amount, if it was already being paid or it's going to be paid, you can also mark it via paid and also choose the date it's going to be paid on. You can switch line item extraction on. You can also do your 0 preferences in terms of where you want to publish it to. The other benefit with these ones here as well is we also bring the email across for you now. So again, you can see all of the transcript in terms of the email, everything that's been said. And if you want any more clarity from anybody internally in your business or externally in the client's business, you also have the ability to add somebody there as well. So yeah, if you want any more information, then you can also choose to do that as well. So you can actually communicate through the system. Line item extraction, let me just show you how that looks. These are the line items here. So again, we bring through the descriptions for you, the category, the tracking categories in the region, the quantity, the unit price, and all of the different variations of tax. And you can also see at the bottom here, it will also calculate it. And if it's calculated, it's all adding up correctly. It'll be in green status. Let me just over type that 95 and change that to 94. You can see if there's a rounding up issue, it'll be an amber, but it shows you the issue, and it does give you the ability to manually intervene if you obviously manually get involved if you choose to do so. The other thing that you can look to do within the system as well is from a sales perspective. Sales is exactly the same setup: inbox, published, archived, customer status stored, uploading docs in your column view, and everything that you can do within the product from a purchase perspective, you can do from a sales perspective. Unreconciled transactions. Apron released unreconciled transactions not long ago. And ultimately what that basically means is we bring all of the unreconciled transactions into the product. When I normally ask what people do for unreconciled transactions, they tell me they download it into an Excel spreadsheet, they send that off to a client receives it and then drip feeds the information back in. Apron will round them up so you can actually search via multiple bank accounts. Let's take the top one here. We can see where it's took place and by who, on what date, out of which account, and also the amount that's unreconciled. And we can see that we're missing a doc. So we do have the ability again to add a client and say, please, can you upload the doc so I can reconcile? So we've got the ability to do that. And if I just jump into my account and my email, and I just refresh and I just wait for it to come through. Here it is here. So what it allows you to do is this is the message that the client would receive. They can literally click on that message, go straight into Apron. It'll take them into the transaction that you want them to work on. And ultimately on the back of that, what it'll allow them to do is actually upload that doc directly into the transaction, and it'll actually convert to say that it's been completed. It'll also alert you as well to be able to do that. The other benefit with this as well is you've also got the ability to select all, and you can actually sign all of the transactions to that one client. Okay, the client will not receive 38 emails. They'll receive one email saying there's 38 transactions that need your attention. We knew it was going to be useful when we built it. We just didn't realize how useful it was going to be, because all of that time is non-billable time when you're chasing all of these types of docs, and it's also non-value add because it's just part of the bookkeeping. So again, we've had some fantastic feedback in terms of the information that we actually the unreconciled transactions, and it gives them the ability to spend a lot more time within the client. Now, I'm conscious of the fact that I only had 15 minutes to take you through, so that was a little bit of a whistle-stop tour. From my perspective, I'm just going to pause there and come back to Della just to see if there's any questions that have come through from the chat function itself.
Thank you so much, Gavin. And I know it was only 15 minutes, but there's functionality that I'm not using.
No, exactly. Well, every day is a learning day, Della.
Yeah. So, of course, one thing people want to know, obviously, is pricing. Where do you sit on the pricing?
Yeah, certainly. So in terms of pricing, we've kept that really, really competitive. So the pricing is £5 per client per month. We don't sell it in bundles, so you haven't got to buy a 10 client bundle, or if you want to move from 10 clients to 11, you haven't got to buy a 20 client bundle. It's £5 per client per month. That entitles the client to up to 500 docs per client per month, and it also entitles them to 50 payroll payments. Once any of your members get to 40 clients, we'll move them on to a 199 package, because 40 times 5 is £200, so you get the 199. You're all accountants and bookkeepers, you can do the maths. Once we move you onto the 199 package, that actually entitles you to do up to 500 clients. So the maximum that you should be paying within Apron is £199 per month.
That's really good. And I always like where you can just buy one license at a time, because it's great when you're just trying out software. You don't know if it'll work or not. You Absolutely. Get your favorite client on, and that works. And we get the accountants one free as well, don't we?
Yeah, from a practice perspective, it's absolutely free. So one of the things I would encourage anybody on the call, if they're interested, is drop me an email. I'm sure you can share my details, Della, but we can set up a practice account that's free of charge, and that gives the practice themselves the ability to use our software and also get the payroll payments and also the supplier payments if they want to use supplier payments as well, and that's all free of charge for a practice.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we need to start using the supplier payments a bit more, but just on the capture that you've shown us is absolutely brilliant. And you've got expenses coming through soon as well.
Expenses will be released in a couple of weeks, yeah. So we've already got a wait list, and I believe that wait list is currently sitting at around about 750 people or 750 firms on the wait list, which is awesome. And you get the ability to issue unlimited virtual cards. There's no subscription attached. You can set spending limits. You can see real-time spending. You can freeze payments. You can top up payments. So everything that you're getting from kind of other suppliers at this present moment in time, but the other real benefit of it is there isn't any subscription charge, Della. So it's going to be a case whereby it'll actually be free for you and your clients to be able to use it. The only cost that we are going to be asking for is if anyone wants to actually have a plastic card, then there's a one-off fee of £5. But in terms of the virtual card, I'm just going to do this live and just show you, because I'm like a proud dad, because I'm one of the people who's on the beta program. There is the Apron card there, so you can kind of see it in there. So from that perspective, being able to do some spend, snapping the receipts, marrying up the transactions, and then getting the reconciliation done back into the ledger is just so much more seamless. So I'm loving it at the moment, loving it.
That's brilliant for expenses, so they can snap the receipt at the same time as they pay. There's no excuse.
Yeah, absolutely. And our finance team find that they're not chasing me as much, so they're not kind of having that conversation of like, Gavin, you had DAS last week. I can see you stayed in the hotel and travelled on a train and got a couple of taxis and stuff like that. Is there any chance you can send them receipts through? So it's all done through Apron now, which has been game changing.
It's absolutely brilliant. And how do people get in touch with you for a longer demo?
Yeah, for a longer demo, if they want to just drop me an email, and it's Gavin, Gavin, at getapron, getapron.com. So it's Gavin at getapron.com.
That's lovely, and we'll post your details along with the video and the group.
Yeah, perfect. And I'm more than happy to give a little bit more of an in-depth presentation if people choose to do that, and if they're really interested in demoing the product and kind of having that kind of free practice license, then I can also set that up. One last thing to note is if anybody on the call is tied into the likes of Dext, if you like, in terms of having like a long-term agreement, because I know they do sign people up on 12-month contracts. You don't have to worry about that, because Apron have got what we call Pitch the Switch. And Pitch the Switch is free of charge, basically free of charge Apron capture for the remaining term of your contract. So, example of that, you've got 5 months left on Dext. That means that you get Apron capture for 5 months free of charge, allows you to move clients across in a really calm and controlled manner. It also allows you to test the product without worrying of having to pay 2 subscriptions. So we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to review and also support clients.
That's brilliant. So people can gradually move their clients across from Dext at no extra cost. And then when the Dext contract comes to an end, they pick up on the Apron one.
Yeah. If they're happy absolutely, if they're happy to proceed at that point, we'll start charging for the clients that you've got on the system, but the Dext contract or any contract that you're tied into from an OCR perspective will then finish, and you haven't got to have that worry about paying for 2 subscriptions. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, if you like. But more importantly, it doesn't then put the pressure on you to kind of push the clients across in a 30-day window, because that's the notice period that you have to do. Yeah, so.
That's lovely. And final question, which software, I know you can use it standalone for the very tiny clients who don't have software, but what software do you integrate with?
We integrate with QuickBooks and Xero. We're having conversations with Free Agent and also Sage. So I think we've all got the appetite to work with as many as we possibly can, but at the present moment in time, it's QuickBooks and Xero.
That's brilliant. Okay, thank you very much for Gavin.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the invite, and hopefully I hear from some of your members soon, and I hope we got something out of it. So thank you.
Thank you.